Okay, if we're going to change this, we probably need to think about how humans work. Would you agree with that statement? We work better with positives than negative? What about that one? Can someone influence you? Do you know anyone you think couldn't be influenced? If we have this belief that anyone can be influenced, then the question is how we're going to do it. And so then it becomes a challenge rather than, I'm never going to get around that person. Some other things we know, if we plant someone with a whole range of extra work, they are not very enthusiastic. Does that relate to you? So we actually start to think of how we might actually get them involved and do a lot of the stuff for them. If your judgment's challenged and you're got held up as having some expertise, what do you reckon your reaction's going to be? If you come to a teacher and say, I don't like the way you're teaching, you should be teaching this way, what do you reckon the teacher's reaction's going to be? Go away. Yeah, well, they'll shut down on you. Naturally, the people's first reaction, if you challenge them, there is going to be, they'll be defensive, and if you challenge them publicly, you can cement them into absolutely against you. So you've got to be very careful about what you're doing. Okay. Some of you may find that hard to believe, but actually people don't like to be seen as unkind and unfair. So if we can actually portray them as being helpful and kind, that's more likely to be effective than slamming them as being, unkind, etc. This is a bit of a scary one. We now have over 40 years of research showing that inclusive education is more effective than segregated education. We've been through the literature now for nearly 20 years. We cannot find one comparative research article comparing segregated schools and inclusive schools that comes out in favour of segregated schools. Has that changed the education system? We have 40 years of research and no alternative evidence, and it hasn't had a slightest bit of impact, has it? It's all come from actual families. So people aren't persuaded by facts, which is really sad, but it's a reality we've got to do, we've got to deal with. Okay, but can we inspire people to be different? I think we can. Okay, now this is one of the major strategies we use is public praise can frame a person into a positive position. We've got to catch them being good and then we publicise it. So what we quite often do is if a principal or does something good, we immediately write to the regional director and say, I want you to know that this principal did this fantastic thing, and the regional director come down and, I got this lovely letter about you, and the principal all of a sudden is in the spotlight as a supporter. It's harder to backtrack out of that, isn't it? Principals and teachers love to be asked for advice. So here's another way we can get through that sort of thing. Now, what the clear message here is we need to go for the positives. Positives change people. Same as all of us, that we're much more likely to be influenced when it's positive. And the negative route is only when you're really, really stuck and everything else has failed. But, even then I'd say go find another school.